So in this case, in this example, Bank of America is having a 200,000 outstanding balance, and Chase is holding another second lien of 50,000. And then whatever this market value of this property is, maybe higher, maybe lower, Bank of America will be willing to pay 200,000. So I would say their own share, number three, their own share, 200,000 is what they're willing to pay. Why? They don't care if Chase get any money or not. If Chase doesn't come approach them and talk to them and negotiate them, they only need to make sure that their own lien is satisfied, right? So if they pay 200,000, yeah, in that case, Chase will take a loss. So Chase is also there. What do you think they will do? Of course, they cannot just let it go and just look at their $50,000 lien just go away. So yeah, they could negotiate with Bank of America, or yeah, or they can. Oh, don't see the pole thing? Okay, so it's kind of middle lower case. So yeah, there are winners and losers in any auction, but in this case, Chase will be bidding up the price up to 250 grand at least. So if they bid it up, if they win the bid and win the auction, they get the property, they'll be able to, hopefully the property is worth more than that. And if the property is not worth more than that, then they're going to incur a loss anyway. So they will have to somehow find out. They will have to make every effort to recover their own interest. So the only way for this particular step situation right now is that they have to they will have to got interrupted. So they will have to bid up to 250 grand, and then they pay 200 grand to Bank of America to settle their lien, and then they have their house, and hopefully they can do whatever fix up, and then sell the house for more than 250 grand. Yeah, so if Bank of America want to do that, they could do that, but that will be in the case where Bank of America get it for 200 grand, and then they turn around and sell it to Chase. Okay, it will if the property is worth more than 200 grand, it will be stupid for Chase not to bid it up. Do you see what I mean? Because then once Bank of America got the house for 200 grand, then Chase's lien is pretty much wiped out. And then when they come back and buy the house again, I mean, the whole thing was totally screwed up for them. So this is typical the foreclosure that you see. Of course, in some places, some cases, the foreclosure be bidded up by the public, and in that case, all these lien holders, they can be relieved to get their money back. Okay. So let's not talk about the trust deed. So a little bit too much of the detailing here, but I do want to talk about the redemption. So before the foreclosure, even after the foreclosure, there could be redemption. What does that mean? It means that whoever lost their house, kind of, if you think about it, lost their house to the bank, they can redeem it back by paying the full amount that they owe these banks. Does that make sense? So as a total, if I owe all these mortgagee, I owe them 250 grand. Okay. If I, right before the sale, if I say, hey, the night before the sale, I call the bank and say, hey, somehow I come up with 250 grand, I'll give it to you, I get my house back. Okay, then the foreclosure is gone. Maybe you have all of a sudden discovered that you have a wealthy uncle or something. So it must be a lump sum. In this case, yes, the redemption is not another rearrangement or another mortgage, another loan. You pay everything clear, buy back. So for POD, if you buy a house in foreclosure and the previous owner come back and pay all the old debt, they can do that. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The statutory right of redemption. So this one, even after foreclosure, you can redeem your house back. So say you foreclosed and the bank has already sold the house, the property to some other people, okay, somebody in public, okay, then the previous owner can still come back and redeem it. So it's not okay, it's not allowed in every single state, but about like a half of the states in the US, you can do this. And within how long time after the sale they can do this, it varies. Some states say it's 6 months, some states say it's 1 year. In Texas, guess how long? 3 months? Wrong direction. 2 years, yes. William got the right idea. In Texas in general, yeah, wow, I know. So if you bought a house from foreclosure, right? So and then somehow yeah, it's on the tax, yeah, so on the tax lien, this is the same way. I mean, in foreclosure, so if you somehow bought it from a tax sale, foreclosure sale, then and if we're talking about some wealthy like a real estate flippers, they could buy it, they could fix it and things and sell it to other people, and then you all of a sudden have somebody who paid back and want a house back. Yeah, once the previous owner takes the house back, well, a lot of trouble. Yeah, so detailed information, I really don't know. I think it will be a lawsuit, and that's why whenever you buy property, this is one of those situations that puts a cloud, what we say, puts a cloud on your deed, on your title, because somebody could come back and claim for the title of your house. Yeah, the new buyer will have to give it back. So there will be another lawsuit and things, and and that's why there is a risk. That's an interesting question. Well, when I was preparing for this class, I was not thinking about getting into such detail. Since it looks so interesting, why don't you guys? I'm gonna put a forum on Blackboard, and what if you're interested? Why don't you read it up on the internet and see what really happens? Okay. So there's foreclosure, and then there will be, okay, so it will be senior, junior lien claimants, then deficiency, judgment, taxing default. Let's skip these details and briefly talk about the bankruptcy. Okay, so there are several different ways to file for bankruptcy. And it's chapter 7, chapter 11, chapter 13. So usually you think about bankruptcy and say, oh yeah, you filed bankruptcy, everything got sold, and it's used to pay back. That's when you're talking about the owners are individuals, are not the business. So if you're talking about a business, then it could go liquidation or it could go chapter 11 reorganization. Okay, so in case of reorganization, that means the court is going to protect this business and allow it to restructure its debt structure. What does that mean? It means that you could potentially borrow money from some other people. Think about what's going on, right? So they're in trouble because they are short in money. They don't have liquidity. And the court somehow believe that although they don't have liquidity, they do have solvency. They, in the long run, the value of those machineries and things will be able to pay back, but temporarily they don't have the cash. So, well, if they don't have the cash, they will have to get it somewhere, so they can bring in another lender and say, okay, I'm going to borrow money from you in order to tie me over. And these ones who are brought in these situations, these angels, they usually require the highest priority. So all of a sudden, the previous senior ones, the highest priority mortgagees will become lower priority ones. You're not trading any debts, you're just putting all those debts on hold. So if you're filing chapter 11, the court is trying to protect you. So you're putting all these original mortgagees on hold and say, you can't do anything to me right now. Okay, so at least right now, just hold on. Okay, I still owe you money, but hold on. You can't do anything right now. And meanwhile, I'm going to put somebody on top of you. And that's why all these mortgagees, I mean, the banks and whoever the lender is, they don't want to work in such situations. They want to work with you before the foreclosure, try to restructure it, try to make it some way for the workout, make sure you the short sale happens. And if it really goes to this situation, especially for business, for them, it's big trouble. Okay, it's highly possible that they don't get anything back. Meanwhile, if its business is that bad, in a situation that that goes on chapter 7, a lot of times because all those machineries and things and those illiquid assets, if you want those to be liquidated immediately, they usually take a deep discount in the market value. So a lot of times they don't get full recovery either. So bankruptcy is always the last thing they want to do. It's costly, it's more effort, they get less back, and it's highly risky a lot of times for them in those situations. Could you use this in a downturn? What do you mean a downturn? Economic downturn? To survive? Yeah, that's the purpose, to survive. I mean, for example, I think GE, was that not GE, the General Motors was restructured. It was bankruptcy under Chapter 11 during the crisis. So, yeah. So of course the original debt owners, they were not happy. But so what? There's always in this world, there were always part of the people who are not happy. Yeah. So I want to stop right here for this chapter because, I mean, these concepts are linked to many detailed situations and takes a long time to explain. Okay, so the course put your debt on set. Right, so it allows the business to restructure. So basically the business will go out and seek out for another lender What's the difference in Chapter 11 and Chapter 13 reorganization? I think Chapter 11 is only available to business owners. But Chapter 13 is somehow available to other kind of situation as well. So that's my understanding. But honestly, I'm not very good at these like detailed legal terms. There's a payout plan to get out of the bankruptcy. What do you mean the get out of the bankruptcy? What do you mean by the payout plan? Okay, they restructure a debt, yeah. And okay, so let's move on to the next chapter. So it must be done before the bankruptcy? No, it's a different way to file bankruptcy. So these are filing in courts. And whether it's suitable for Chapter 7 or Chapter 11 is up to the court's judgment. So all these business owner or whoever owner it is, they would of course prefer Chapter 11 or Chapter 13 because it allows them time to redo things instead of losing the house, losing the property. Um, so they will file for those, and the court will judge on those and see if it makes sense to give them Chapter 11 or Chapter 13, or does it really make sense to just ask them to go for Chapter 7. So that's usually the way it is. Okay. Okay, so let me restructure this whole thing and see if I can somehow tweak it and be able to write on this. See notifications. Okay, let me stop the sharing for just one moment and then start it again to see if I can see the T sign that you guys were talking about. Share files. No look. No look. Why do you guys be able to see it and I am not? This is a question. Let's see real quick. Yeah, I should be able to get it. Why not? Don't understand. Now I don't see it on a whiteboard either. Okay, I think we need to take a 5 minutes real quick break because if I cannot draw on a file and I cannot draw on a whiteboard, that's gonna be a big disaster for me. So let's take a break, 5 minutes. We're gonna come back 3:45, and let me try. Give me a few moments to try to figure this out. This is getting ridiculous. Share the whiteboard. Cannot see it. Oh, damn it. Come out of here.